Good morning, I'm Amanda with the Pickaway County Library. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a preschool story time. To get started, we're going to be singing a song called If You're Groovy and You Know It, Hug a Friend. And it's from the songbook that's written by Eric Litwin. Art is done by Tom Lichtenheld, and the publisher is Orchard Books. So let's get started. If you're groovy and you know it, greet the day. If you're groovy and you know it, greet the day. If you're groovy and you know it, the things you do will show it. If you're groovy and you know it, greet the day. If you're groovy and you know it, go explore. If you're groovy and you know it, go explore. If you're groovy and you know it, the things you do will show it. If you're groovy and you know it, go explore. If you're groovy and you know it, laugh and play. If you're groovy and you know it, laugh and play. If you're groovy and you know it, the things you do will show it. If you're groovy and you know it, laugh and play. If you're groovy and you know it, plant a seed. If you're groovy and you know it, plant a seed. If you're groovy and you know it, the things you do will show it. If you're groovy and you know it, plant a seed. If you're groovy and you know it, read a book. If you're groovy and you know it, read a book. If you're groovy and you know it, the things you do will show it. If you're groovy and you know it, read a book. If you're groovy and you know it, sing your song. If you're groovy and you know it, sing your song. If you're groovy and you know it, the things you do will show it. If you're groovy and you know it, sing your song. If you're groovy and you know it, hug a friend. If you're groovy and you know it, hug a friend. If you're groovy and you know it, the things you do will show it. If you're groovy and you know it, hug a friend. Today we will be reading While We Can't Hug, written by Eoin McLaughlin and illustrated by Polly Dunbar, and the publisher's Faber. Hedgehog and Tortoise were the best of friends. They wanted to give each other a great big hug, but they weren't allowed to touch. "Don't worry," said Owl. "There are lots of ways to show someone you love them." Hedgehog tried a wave. That made Tortoise smile. Tortoise made a funny face. That made Hedgehog laugh. Hedgehog wrote a letter, and Tortoise wrote one back. And when Tortoise did a little dance, Hedgehog joined in too. Hedgehog blew a kiss across the gap between them. Tortoise saw it and caught it and kept it. And sent 3 back again. Tortoise sang a song. Hedgehog played along. Then they both painted pictures so that everyone would know they were friends. Through rain and shine, they could not touch, they could not hug, but they both knew that they were loved. The end. For our activity today, we are going to be mailing a hug to one of our loved ones or friends. So, for this activity, we will need some yarn, a pencil, a piece of colored paper, or a piece of blank paper, and you can color it or decorate it however you would like, an envelope, and a stamp. Next, we're going to use our pencil and fill out our envelope. So we will write our name on the top left corner, our street address, the city that we live in, our state, and the zip code. Okay, and then in the middle, we're going to write who it's to. I'm going to write mine to my mom, the street address, city, state, and zip code. And then we're going to take our stamp and place it right up in the top right corner. Just like that. For this next step, we are going to take our yarn. It can be any color that you would like it to be. And we're going to extend our arms wide as if we were going to go to hug somebody. And then we're going to cut that length with the scissors. So I'm going to take my paper and my pencil and I'm going to trace both of my hands. Next, I'm going to take my scissors and cut those out. Next, we're going to take our handprints and add some glue. And then take each end of the yarn and press it down. For our craft today, we will be making a handprint hedgehog. So to get started, we will need a pair of scissors, a colored pencil of the color that you would like your hedgehog to be. So I'm going to use the tan color, 2 eyes, the body template that is going to be in the comment section, a pencil, brown construction paper, and some glue. So for this first step, we are going to take our brown construction paper and our pencil, and we're going to trace our handprint. So you may need some assistance from your parents or a grown-up. So let's go ahead and do that. And then do the other hand. Okay, and then we're going to take our scissors and cut those out. So I will be right back when I'm done with that. Now that we have our handprints cut out, we are going to take some glue and then put a little dab right here in the center. And then we're going to glue our other handprint onto it. Kind of like that. Now we're going to set this to the side to allow for some time to dry, and then we are going to move on to coloring our body of the hedgehog. So So we'll take our template, and I'm going to color mine before cutting it out. So I'm going to go ahead and color this and come back after I cut it out. I'm also going to leave the stomach white. If you would like to make it a different color, you can, whichever you would prefer. So I'll come back as soon as that's done getting cut out. Now that I have colored my hedgehog's body, I'm going to grab my glued handprints, and then I'm going to flip this over, put some glue, and then glue it right in the center. Next, I'm going to glue the stomach. I chose to keep mine just plain white. And then I'm going to glue it right down here. Okay. And then I'm going to take the arms and glue those kind of like at an angle onto the stomach. Kind of like that. So kind of flip it around. There we go. And I'm going to glue the other one on. And then I'm going to take my two googly eyes and glue those about right there. And I'm going to leave room so that I can draw a nose and a mouth. And then I'm going to take the last two pieces from the body template, which are going to be the ears, and I'm going to glue those somewhere up here. Just like that. Okay, so then I'm going to take my other colored pencil. I'm just going to make him a nose and a mouth. And then we're done with the craft for today. I hope that you had fun. All right, thank you guys for joining me for today's story time, and I look forward to seeing you next time.